A map of the sea can look empty. Blue water, white wave lines, a few place names around the edge. But to an energy minister, a geologist, a shipping company, a factory owner, and a household watching winter power bills, the same sea can look full of questions. In July 2026, Winston Peters argued for surveying New Zealand's offshore basins for oil and gas. New Zealand first framed the idea as independence: find what sits under the sea, use it at home, and sell some of it to the world. The important idea is not that hidden wealth is waiting. The important idea is that energy independence is slow, uncertain, and political because geology does not answer on an election timetable. New Zealand's energy argument begins with a legal fact. Petroleum is not treated like an ordinary rock under an ordinary paddock. Under the Crown Minerals System, petroleum, gold, silver, and uranium in their natural state are Crown-owned minerals. Offshore, the Crown has rights in the territorial sea and in the exclusive economic zone, from 12 nautical miles to 200 nautical miles from the coast. The continental shelf can reach even farther in some places, so when a party talks about offshore basins, it is not only talking about companies taking a gamble, it is talking about a public resource, public permits, public rules, and a public share of any return. That is why the debate gets loud. People are not only arguing about fuel, they are arguing about who owns the opportunity, who carries the risk, who gets the revenue, and who lives with the environmental cost. New Zealand already has an oil and gas story. It is mostly a Taranaki story. The countries producing oil and gas fields are in the Taranaki Basin, offshore and onshore of the west coast of the North Island. Kapuni was discovered in 1959. Maui was discovered offshore in 1969. For decades, these fields helped power industry, electricity generation, homes, and the petrochemical sector. Gas is not like milk powder or logs. New Zealand has no large facilities to import or export natural gas. That means the gas produced in New Zealand is used in New Zealand. When supply falls, the country cannot simply open a normal shipping tap and replace it overnight. This is why domestic gas feels larger than its share of the energy mix. It helps generate electricity when hydro lakes, wind or solar do not give enough supply at the right moment. It is used for high-temperature industrial heat. It runs boilers and heaters in hospitals, schools, and other large facilities. It is also feedstock for chemical processes, especially methanol. Gas can seem invisible until it is short. In May 2026, official petroleum reserves data showed New Zealand's proven plus probable natural gas reserves had fallen to 731 petajoules as at the 1st of January 2026. That was a 23% fall from the year before, and the lowest level since recording began 20 years earlier. Expected production for 2026 was 85 petajoules, 15% lower than the profile submitted for the previous reserves release. Those numbers are why energy security has returned to the front of politics, but a survey is not a supply, a permit is not a field, a promising basin is not a warm school or a cheaper power bill. Offshore energy moves through stages. First comes data. Geologists study old wells, rock layers, gravity, magnetism, and seismic surveys. They try to understand whether a basin has source rock, heat, migration paths, reservoirs, seals, and traps. All of those pieces have to line up. Then comes prospecting and exploration. A company may spend large amounts before it knows whether anything commercial exists. If it drills and finds nothing, the answer is still useful, but it does not heat a home. If it finds something, more work follows. Engineers must test size, pressure, flow, quality, distance to shore, water depth, weather, pipelines, processing, consent conditions, safety, and decommissioning. Years can pass between hope and production. Sometimes decades pass. Sometimes production never happens. That is the slow truth hidden under fast political words. In 2018, New Zealand stopped offering new offshore oil and gas exploration permits outside onshore Taranaki. In 2025, the Crown Minerals Amendment Act removed that ban beyond onshore Taranaki and changed parts of the petroleum permitting and decommissioning regime. The law also changed the purpose of the Crown Minerals Act from managing Crown-owned minerals to promoting prospecting, exploration, and mining for New Zealand's benefit. That word promote matters. It tells investors the government wants activity. It also tells opponents that the state is taking a side in the direction of development. Supporters see a practical country facing a supply problem. They ask why New Zealand should leave possible resources untested, while factories, electricity users, and regional workers carry the cost of shortage. They see domestic gas as a bridge that could reduce dependence on unstable international markets and imported coal. Opponents see another lock-in. They ask why a country with climate targets should spend scarce attention on new fossil fuel frontiers. They worry that exploration promises can delay investment in demand reduction, storage, transmission, geothermal, wind, solar, and other alternatives. They also worry about oceans, IY rights, fisheries, tourism, and the future cost of cleaning up old infrastructure. Both sides talk about security. They mean different things. One side means secure supply through more domestic options. The other means secure climate, secure ecosystems, and secure investment in a different energy system. New Zealand cannot escape that argument by drawing a line on a map. The line only shows where the question begins. There is also a money lesson. Resource wealth is not the same as ordinary income. If a field exists, it can bring jobs, royalties, taxes, export earnings, and regional activity. It can also bring price swings, dry wells, legal disputes, decommissioning bills, and public anger when promises arrive faster than results. The Tui oil field is a warning in the background. When its operator collapsed, the Crown had to face the cost and responsibility of decommissioning offshore infrastructure. That memory is one reason decommissioning rules matter so much. The public wants the benefit of resources, but it does not want to become the last payer when a company leaves. So the real question is not whether New Zealand should be rich. Every country would like that. The harder question is what kind of risk New Zealand is willing to buy in the hope of future independence. A survey can reveal possibilities. It can also reveal limits. The sea may hold a field, or it may hold a story politicians wanted to believe. That is why energy independence takes patience. It is not a switch. It is a chain of choices: law, data, permits, money, engineering, environment, markets, and trust. New Zealand's offshore basins may look like empty blue space, but empty space can be expensive. Before the country can use what lies under the water, it has to decide what it is really searching for: gas, money, security, time, or permission to keep living the same way a little longer.